Hey guys, welcome to Things Lucy Reads. I'm Luce and this is an original tag video. Okay, so this is the Tolkien book tag, which I decided needed to be a thing one day on Twitter. So it's just 15 questions plus one bonus based on characters from Tolkien's works, not just Lord of the Rings, but also the Silmarillion. The first one, which is ARAGORN, and that is a book that ended up being everything that you wanted it to be. And that is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I didn't really have any expectations, but I was just so happy with this book. Like, if I'd had expectations, they would have been these ones, and I thought it was just absolutely perfect. Second question, CELEBORN, your favourite character who often gets overlooked. For that, my answer is Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. A lot of people like Luna, but I feel like she doesn't get the attention that some of the other characters like Harry, Ron and Hermione and Draco and Snape and Hagrid and Neville get. And I just feel like in general, she's really underrated and just cast off as, you know, stupid and just all of these things, but I think she's probably one of the best characters in the entire series. The third question is CELEBRÍAN, and that's a book or character that you wish had got a better ending. I have two answers for this, and it is Sirius Black and Remus Lupin. And I wish that instead of the ending that they got, no spoilers, they had got married and lived happily ever after, because they both really deserved it. And it's the ship that is the most painful, to be honest. I just can't even talk about it. The next question is Kid on the Shipwright, and that is the first book you bought or received, or the oldest book that you own. I don't remember what the first book I got or bought is, because I've had a lot of books in my life. Although the first one that I bought myself might be the first Ranger's Apprentice book. I don't really remember. Anyway, so I'm going with the oldest book that you own, and it is this really old bind-up of The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer and The Fairy Queen by Edmund Spenser. There is a date on the inside of this, like a handwritten inscription that says 25th of the 5th, 94, and it's obviously not 1994, it's 1894. I don't know when this book was actually published, but it's over 200 years old. The next one is ELROND, and that is a book that helped you through a hard time or that you relate to the most. And my answer to this question won't be a surprise at all, but I'm choosing Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I read it in the January after I decided to leave university, and even though the hard time was over, this kind of retrospectively helped me through it. And I really wish that I'd been able to read it that year, because it would have been so helpful to me, and I would have just got so much more out of it because I was having such a shitty time. And this also is relevant for book that you relate to the most, because Kath is basically me. Question 6, ELWING, your least favourite fictional character, and that would have to be Bella Swan. She has no redeeming qualities. No. Next question, ÉOWYN, book with the most badass or just your favourite female character, and I've chosen Susan from Hogfather by Terry Pratchett. Talk about your book girlfriends. She's just fabulous. Really, really kick-ass and just funny and just takes no shit and just, oh, she's so good. And I love her so much. If she was real, I would marry her. Question 8, Faramir, a sequel that ended up being better than you expected. I've chosen The Girl in the Clockwork Collar by Katie Cross. The first book in this series, which is The Girl in the Steel Corset, was my first ever steampunk novel. It really made me love the entire genre, and it's been a love affair that has continued to this day. And I waited like a year and a half before I actually read this, because I didn't know if it was going to be as good as the first one, and then it ended up really, really living up to the standards, so I was really happy about that. Question 9 is Fëanor, and that's a book where the characters consistently made really stupid decisions, and my answer for this is The Perks of Being a Wallflower, because of Charlie. The entire time I was reading it, I was just kind of sitting there going, Charlie, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I hated that book because Charlie just annoyed the fuck out of me. This is not a new thing, I've said this countless times before, but I just feel like he made the worst possible decisions that he could possibly make, and ugh, just irritated me. Next question is Frodo, and that is a book that didn't live up to the hype, and for that I've chosen The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I didn't hate this book. It's, you know, it's okay. I enjoyed it. I'm probably going to reread it again at some point, but I didn't love it. It didn't ruin my life. I didn't cry. I teared up a little bit at the fake funeral scene, but that's all. I'm not destroyed by it. Hazel and Gus is not my OTP. This one didn't live up to the hype because it didn't really make me feel things. The next question is Gimli, and that's your favourite fictional friendship, and for that I've chosen Phryne and Mac from Kerry Greenwood's Miss Fisher's Murder mystery series. Just their friendship is such a joy. It's a joy to read and it's a joy to see in the TV series, and I wish Mac was in it more because she's definitely one of my favourite characters. Although actually, you know, I love all of them. But it's just fantastic. It's everything that you could want out of a fictional friendship. Next question is Legolas, and that is prettiest book, and for that I've chosen The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This cover is a little bit weird. I don't know what's up with this. This is a Barnes & Noble leatherbound classic that my sister got for me in Chicago. The back says "Don't panic" and the pages are like silver edged, but I think my favourite part is the spine. It's just, it's so beautiful, and it's got the dolphins on it, and just, yeah. It's a gorgeous book. The next question is Mithras, and that is the most physically damaged book. For that I've chosen this queer anthology I have called In Another Part of the Forest by Alberto Manguel and Craig Stevenson. And it's just, I'm not going to show you because I'll never get them back in, but it has a lot of things falling out of it. Like, a lot of these sections are completely loose, so much so that when I bought it, it had 2 elastic bands around it just to hold it together. And for the last question, I have to give credit to Liz from Liz Loves Lit, because when I was talking about this on Twitter and saying some of the questions that I was going to do, she replied with this one. So this one is all her, and that's Tom Bombadil, and it's a book that you've forgotten. And I've chosen Immortal by Gillian Shields. And I genuinely forget what happened in this book. There's a girl called Evie, and she goes to this mysterious women's boarding school, and then there's a boy there, and he's mysterious, and she hangs out with him at night against the rules, and something about a curse or a ghost or a prophecy or something. I remember that I liked it, but other than that, I've got no clue. Then the bonus question, Haldir, and that is a character who got ruined in their book's film adaptation, and I am cheating for this because for this one I'm choosing Elrond. In Fellowship of the Ring especially, Elrond is completely wrong. Like, they made him into such an arse, and he's not like that in the books. He's described as being kind as summer. I love Hugo Weaving and I love his portrayal, and I genuinely think that he's perfect for the role, but I just hate the way he was written, and especially the way they handle the relationship between Elrond and Aragorn. It's not right. Their dynamic is completely off. Aragorn is his adopted son. Like, he literally raised him like his own son. And that's not the relationship that's presented in the movie, and I don't understand how it could possibly have been perceived that way. I don't understand where Peter Jackson and the other scriptwriters got that from. And that all of that shit with Elrond trying to make Arwen go to Valinor before she could even marry Aragorn, that was made up. That didn't happen in the books at all. I will never not be upset about this. So, tagging. First person I will tag for this is Liz from Liz Loves Lit. As a thank you for giving me the Tom Bombadil question and just generally being as excited about this tag as I was when I first mentioned it on Twitter. And I will also tag Ali from Book Blossoms for the same reason. And I am also going to tag my friend Joanna because she's a bigger Tolkien nut than I am. If you want to do it, please do it. I would love for more people to do it. And if you do it, please leave a link to your videos in the comments, because I really want to see what your answers are. And I just, yeah. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope that you find this as fun as I did to write and do. So yeah, that's all for this video, and I will see you when I see you. Bye guys.